Then William starts staring in his makeshift bed by Daenerys' bed. He sits up, looks around. Daenerys is nowhere to be found. He also notices that for some reason, it's still dark out. Normally, it should be daylight if this was truly Earth, but then she did say that this was not Earth. He's thinking that he's dreaming about everything that's been discussed, and I think that this had to be Earth, but the fact that she's a queen and he's in this strange building that's called a palace, just kind of took him by surprise. He gets up, puts on his what he considers to be strange medieval clothing, because he had somehow at night, without her knowing it, quietly took them off because he wanted to be comfortable, so she didn't know he actually slept in the nude. And looks around. First he goes out to the balcony, and it's still dark out. It's not like his world. You don't hear cars driving by or anything like that. Maybe some people stirring, like that of a campsite, but just ordinary noises that he would hear like from his world. Goes back inside and picks up a device that he notices that she happened to have on her table by the other side of her bed, and he recognizes it and sits down on one side of her bed, starts recording things like a dictaphone or something of his world. When he's done, he turns the device off and sets it down for later use. He then, cautiously looking down the hallways, steps out from her chambers and, after walking for a bit, goes into where the sunroom's at. Once in the sunroom, he continues looking around and sees the big special chair that she sits in. Then continues looking about in the sunroom, almost like a big glorified living room, but probably for like people of importance that would meet her in this room. And as he continues walking about, finally, Daenerys finally steps in, holding a green bag. Oh, good morning, William. Oh, and he bows before her, kind of startled. Good morning, Queen. You can just call me Daenerys. I will remit you of this. All right. Good morning, Queen Daenerys. I hope I didn't do something wrong. No, that's okay. In fact, this is the perfect place anyway. I found something. You did? Yes. I believe this is yours. We don't have such things floating around in Slaver's Bay, normally washing ashore, much like you. She seems somewhat delighted because this is like all fascinating, and it's not like she would just go in the bag. She wanted him to open it and show her what was in the bag. Well, thank you. This be the bag you were looking for? Yes, that was the one. There is another one, but I don't know if it made her sure or not. It's much bigger, slightly heavier. Well, we'll keep an eye out for that one as we did for this one. So she sits down in her chair, and William, of course, is very happy now to have the bag because this means if he's right and it's not totally damaged, he should be able to pull out some coffee. And so he unzips it, and she seems very curious as to what's in there. Do you mind if I ask to see what you have in your bag? I mean, if you don't seem to mind. No, I have nothing to hide from you. You can see what's in my bag. He kind of looks nervous. Some things are personal, but I don't mind showing this to you. She seems curious about why he'd be getting a bit nervous and flushed about this. So she watches in anticipation, takes out his thermos, and um, some other things, paper filters, which are in a weird looking bag to her, that has like a ziplock on it. And he cracks it open and pulls out a paper filter. Then he realizes he has no way of making coffee. Daenerys, yes. May I borrow your, I'm thinking it's a type of candle stand. It's so that I can make something hot to drink. Really? You're going to make something hot to drink from my candle stand? Well, no. It's something that I need your candle stand to hold to make something hot. Yes, I hope you don't mind me watching. I'm finding everything you're doing, William, very fascinating and very unusual. No, it's okay. I mean, you are the queen, and I respect this. Well, you are right, and thank you. So she continues watching eagerly what he's doing with these strange things. He takes this glass cone out, which probably has something to hold a tea light inside of it, carefully setting it on the table. May I borrow your jeweled knife? I needed to make a hole in this cup. But how are you going to drink if there's a hole in your cup? Um, well, it's so I can put these paper things here, and he holds one up, in the cup. And when I put water in it, and whatever else in here, it will go through the hole and use another cup to catch what goes through the hole so it can be hot. This is not some kind of form of magic or sorcery, is it? No, 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 it's not. It's not sorcery or magic. Um, it's what we do in our world, the world I come from. All right, I will trust you, and you may proceed. All right, so he cautiously takes the knife so she don't get nervous about this, and punctures a hole in the cup. Then takes the cup and off the thermos, from the thermos, then sits it in the candle stand. She kind of finds this odd, but doesn't say nothing. Then he takes a filter and sticks it in the cup. Miss Andy then kind of comes in with the tea and on a tray and sets it down on a table next to her. What is he doing, my queen? He's making something for hot to drink, and yet he has no water. Well, he says it's not sorcery, so I'm kind of curious how he's going to achieve this. This should be interesting. Well, I shall take the lead. You can remain if you want. All right. So Asami agrees to stand nearby to see how this is going to work. In the meantime, William is thankful that he pulls out a jar with something brown, opens it, and then she kind of finds the spoon and he sniffs it and like, smells so good. She kind of curious. May I smell this thing that you're holding? Alright. So she sniffs it. She kind of has a raised eyebrow. Um, and you're supposed to drink that? Well, I have to put water over it. Oh, well, continue. So he does. Puts grounds in the filter. And then after he puts the lid away, pulls out creamer and sugar. And then he asks the handmaiden, may I have some water from your teapot? They look at each other, and Masami, not being told no, but Daenerys decides, yes. What do you want to do? I want to put water in this cup that's in the candlestand holder so that it will drain into a cup below, which I'll need another cup. All right. So there's these special teacups, and he places one underneath the candle holder. Again, Daenerys finding this very unusual. With a slight grin, it's like, okay, she's about to see something amazing here from a human. And watching him closely, he has Masami fill the green thermos cup up to the rim with water. And she kind of like, as if she's looking under it, head tilted, and the water comes out brown. And Masami, this is the strangest thing I've ever seen. So, but they don't say nothing, they just continue watching. And then he opens up this jar just slightly, and puts a couple of teaspoons of this yellow stuff after the teacup is finished filling, and stirs and it changes colors. Sandy and Daenerys' eyes get a little bit big. They're watching, looking at each other. I call this creamer. Creamer? Well, it's a white powder, but in my world, they take milk and they have some unusual way of drying it into a powder. And so it goes in what I call coffee. Coffee. Made from a place in my world that grows coffee beans. They harvest the beans, let them dry for a long time, and then they can either sell them split in half or ground up into the brown stuff that you saw we put in this filter. Okay. So it continues. Opens up the sugar jar. And this is sugar. Sugar. It's sweet. It makes coffee taste better. Some people don't drink it with creamer and sugar. They just drink with either cream or sugar. And some people drink it black, but I kind of find that kind of grody myself. Okay. And I'm not sure if this is going to harm you, because you're worried about the foods that would harm me at the time when I was in here yesterday. But it is sweet. And he touched it to his tongue as she's watching do this. May I try this sugar? Sure. And he holds the jar out to her, and with her eyes still fixed on him, takes his finger and, as if she's very cautious, not knowing what it might do to her, sticks her tongue out and licks her finger. She and Masami look at each other, and she says something Valerian with a big smile, shakes her head like this is like probably the craziest thing ever. You have strange foods, but this is something I like. And you done making this coffee? Well, I have to stir it. So he does. He takes a spoon and stirs it. And, of course, the color remains the same. And he takes a sip after blowing on it 3 times. And he's like, seems more relaxed. That's what I needed. Coffee. May I try some of this coffee? Sure. And so she then takes the cup from him. And so with her eyes still fixed on him, because she's still not ready to trust him yet, tastes this coffee, kind of squints a bit, one eye, and hands the cup back like as if this is not something she likes. I'm sorry if you don't like it. It's the drink of my world. It's okay. We don't drink things called coffee. That is most unusual. If you don't mind a compliment, I kind of found you tasting my coffee rather cute. Cute? You think that my reaction to your coffee was cute? Well, I don't mean any offense. No, it's okay. You have strange ways of complimenting women, William, but I'm finding this intriguing as well. So, I take it that you don't like it. No, actually, I would like to have a cup of this coffee. It's just something I have to get used to. Alright, so Daenerys then takes another clean cup that is handed over by Missandei, and then coffee is put into it. He asks if she would like the cream or sugar as well. Of course, obviously she would. She wants it the way he had it. So he does get it together, stirs it, and now they are having coffee together. As they continue drinking coffee together, though she was getting used to the way this tasted, much to a somewhat unusual delight, she decided to ask him about these things that came with him now that they are able to speak to each other. William, I have some questions for you. Yes, go ahead. What is this thing you call, she takes out this black square with a golden chain on it. Oh, my wallet? Yes, this wallet. You opened it before and it had strange things in there. Well, it's things that people in my world use for various tasks. We use it for holding money or using the various colored things that are squares, rectangular in shape that is, for paying for things, food, clothing. How can you fit money in something so small? And these things here are made of something I've never seen before. Oh, well, we call that plastic. Plastic. Right, well, that's going to be a hard one to explain. Her eyebrows raised a slight grin. We have time. Okay. It's kind of finding this somewhat amusing too. You find this amusing? No, I mean, no disrespect. I'm not sure how to explain this. Well, it was thought to be safer than carrying a whole bunch of money like in a bag or something. It's where someone puts money in buildings that are under the charge of people we call banks. And by carrying this plastic, you can like pay by letting somebody take a rubbing off the front of the car, and except being more advanced, it's done by how to explain this? Something high tech in my world, things that you don't have here, and it's a form of payment. She looks at Miss Sandy and motions for her to open up a couple of chests to her right. This is my payment, my money, as you call it. You don't have things like this. Well, no, I don't have anything like that. But I assure you I don't want anything of yours. Not your wealth or your money or anything like that. She seems delighted about this, so that means he's not trying to get after her for her wealth. Um, it's just a custom that we do. So we would probably obviously be robbed if we were to go around with chests like you have, filled with, I imagine that's gold, silver, and whatever else you have in there. So we choose not to do so because then less chance of one getting robbed. I see. So she puts it back in this wooden box, takes out this other thing. You said this was what also? Oh, it's phone. And you put it to your ear. Why? You're supposed to hear something. Well, it's, again, this is a little bit hard to explain. So she kind of leans forward, propping her head up on her hands while her elbows are on her knees, listening intently with a slight smile about this one. In my world, it's like if you want to talk to somebody in, say, another city or even as far as another country, you can, if you have the right code, push the right numbers, it rings somebody who has one like it. And it's like you're talking to them in person, even though you don't see them, and yet they're far away. These are strange things. Well, you continue to amaze me. We don't do or have things called phones. Well, how do you communicate if you want to talk to somebody far away? We write scrolls and send messengers. Other parts of the kingdoms will sometimes use ravens. Ravens, isn't that like a black bird? Yes. We had something similar in my world of Earth, but we didn't use ravens. We used like doves and pigeons. They're probably a smaller bird. But since we, throughout the generations of humans, don't use birds anymore, we use this thing called a phone. And we have other high-tech things, probably alien to your world, that we call computers and laptops. Shakes her head. This is like too strange. Okay, well, I guess we're not as advanced as you say that you are. Well, no. But that doesn't mean I dislike your kingdom. I mean, your kingdom is quite extraordinary. She kind of has a smile about this. Well, I'm glad you like my kingdom. So she puts the phone up, brings out this wooden bowl. What are these? Or do you recognize them? That's what we would call our form of money. Really? She brings out some that she collected long before he appeared in the world. And these are the same. Well, no, these are from different kingdoms. This one here, he picks up one that has a square hole in it. This would be like the money that came with me, but it comes from a country called China, kingdom of its own right. Mine, as you can see here, is quarter, nickel, dime, penny, half dollar, and this gold one we call the whole dollar. But when it's put together, we call it change, because it means change means you have extra, and you usually keep it in your pocket. She kind of finds it intriguing. I take it you like these things. Well, we don't find something like this in our world. probably won't. I would imagine my money is alien to you. But looking at what you have in your chest, I would consider my money to be worthless. You, on the other hand, probably look at my money and consider it to be a treasure because you just don't find human money laying around in your Slaver's Bay. The name of the place where you found me? Yes. Well, I guess you wouldn't find it laying around there. No, I wouldn't. Well, um, not that I'm trying to be forward, Daenerys. And she could tell that he seems to be, again, having an attraction to her, which she has a smile about. May I see your hand? I promise I'm not going to hurt you. I know this, because if I thought you were going to hurt me, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Right. So she stretches her hand out. He takes the wooden bowl, pours the change into her hand, sets the bowl down, and she's watching what he's doing with a very big grin now, and he gently closes her fingers over the change. You may have this. Well, I had it already, but she's looking at her hand. Thank you. I shall treasure this because you gave it to me so freely. Well, I just thought you might like to keep these. Yes, I would. She kind of regains her composure because he's kind of getting nervous and she's kind of getting stirred by this as well. She takes the change, put it back in the wooden bowl, and sticks it in her box. Says something in Valerian, and Missandei then takes the box to her chambers, probably to put it in some other place that she can lock it up as type of treasures. There is something that I found most peculiar. Oh, what is this? And she holds it up. Oh, well, we call that a harness. A harness. So you were a slave? No, not a slave. Kind of like your knights. But we had to carry more than just, say, one or two weapons. We'd have to carry other things. The harness, when worn, allows us to carry much. Kind of like my bag that you brought in. I see. Well, you won't be needing a harness here. Right. I would imagine not. So tell me about this. I mean, when we first found you, it was flashing, which tells us that symbolically, because symbolism is everything, you have the power to harness a star in this small thing. Only stars flash. Oh, well, it's not a star. It's what we call a warning beacon. I threw one in the water before I got sucked into this vortex. The other stays with me so that if lost, one can find me because it has a silent sound that no one can hear, but the flash will help them find me. And you expect the other humans to find you here? No, I don't think the other humans will know how to find me, let alone even if they were to go through this vortex opening. There's no guarantee they'd come to this world. They could go off into another world somewhere else. It is a door of mystery from my world. They called it the Bermuda Triangle. Well, an example of this is that a famous person long before I was born, she was a sort of an explorer, and she used a device to fly, like a dragon, but got caught in this vortex, and this thing that she rode and flew disappeared completely. She may have been taken by a vortex to another world long, long ago. She finds this very, very fascinating stimulation of conversation that a human of such unusual knowledge would be sitting before her. Well, Miss Sandy, yes, my queen, take these things, and they shall be my treasures now. We'll find a place to display them. Yes, my queen. And she looks at William with a slight smile and leaves. My handmaiden seems to like you. Well, I don't know what to say. It's okay. I like you too. Oh, well, thank you. Daenerys, I like you too, if I'm permitted to say this. You are permitted. Okay. Well, um, is there anything you wish to ask of me right now? I mean, else? Yes, what foods do you eat? Well, um, it would take too long to explain all the foods. They kind of differ from country to country of my world. My foods that I usually sometimes like to eat is pizza. It's like a pie, but not deep, kind of flat, various meats and cheeses, and you cut it into triangles. And then there's the lasagna, and it has many layers of cheeses, and depending on how you want to make it, maybe meats or other special things to eat, and they cut into squares. Perhaps maybe I could make you something using the foods of your world. You would make me something. Yes, I do know how to cook. She kind of laughs about this. But Sonny also is kind of a surprised look on her face too. Um, William, yes, men don't do that here. Oh, well, we kind of, William, consider this woman's work. Oh, well, in my world, men and women cook. It depends. Sometimes there's professional cooks. I'm not one of them, but I do know how to cook. I see. I could make you something if you were interested. Well, because you're not of our world, I would look forward to this, but I think eventually might not be a good idea for you to be cooking because somebody might not understand. I understand, and I will do whatever it is you expect of me. Again, I like the sound of this, and I look forward to whatever it is you wish to make me. Well, you must be hungry right now, considering that we've been having a pretty good conversation. First, anyway, I still have many questions for you, but I've got other things I also have to do. My understanding, you being a queen, you must be quite busy. Yes. Zombie will show you where the dining hall is, and you can get yourself something to eat for this morning. And feel free afterwards to have full reign of the palace to check things out. I wouldn't want any harm to come to you, so please know that this, there are areas restricted. They may not understand your language, but they understand also at the same time not to harm you. They will probably block the way, and you'll know that you are forbidden to go any further in those areas. I understand. Alright, William. I will talk to you later. I look forward to talking to you later as well. Daenerys. Very good then. And she gets up and he stands up, and she kind of has a smile about her as she leaves with Missandei then leads William to this great dining hall, nothing like he's ever seen. And so thus then begins his first ever breakfast in what he still considers to be Earth, but he's yet to have an awakening known as a crash of reality. And he will soon learn he's not on Earth. As William finishes his breakfast, he gets ready to leave, and though this one who's shorter doesn't seem to notice him, he looks over and comes to realize that there's people even shorter than he is. But before this one that he spots can see him, he's already out of the dining hall. Little does he know that it happened to be Tyrien Lanister, and Tyrion is kind of looking left and right like he must have thought he saw something, but kind of shrugs it off and then continues walking. Meantime, William is now in the palace halls and hears somebody clearing their throat. Pardon me, would you happen to be this stranger from another world? Yeah, and who are you? I am a historian. Okay. Sorry, I don't have no history for you. You kind of laughs about. You're about to make history. That would be weird. Perhaps I can help. And so then the visionary comes out. You come to us most unexpectedly. Really. I guess you've heard that I've come here not by choice. Yes. Do you know how you came here? Not really. I was knocked out and woke up, and somebody with bright blonde hair kind of revived me somewhat, or woke me from whatever it is I was sleeping. And I guess she's a queen, said it was her that discovered me. Yes, that is true. You come from a smaller world, don't you? And how would you know this? Because I have seen before you came here all things and reported it to her. You have a destiny. I have a destiny. I'm not sure what you're getting at. And perhaps you should sit down. It might be a bit to take in. So they sit on a bench, the historian standing off to the right of the visionary, and he explains everything to him of Daenerys' past, briefly, and of his coming into the world. So let me get this straight. I mean, not that I'm trying to make an offense to you. You're trying to claim that this smaller world, we're not on this. No. Well then, if this is not Earth, where am I? Well, we don't really have a name for it. Okay, if you want coffee, I'm not losing my mind. Wow. It sounds strange to me. You can't tell me the name of this world, but yet you say you see me come from a smaller world, and this is very confusing. You sure I'm understanding? I mean, I'm not sure if I'm understanding anything correctly. It's alright. In time, you will come to accept things as they are. You probably are due to have a sudden reality. I sense it will come to very soon. Right. I think I'm going to go now. Yes. Alright, William. Just know this of everything I've told you about Deanerys so far. And soon, all things will make sense to you. Okay. I shall bear that in mind, I will continue as permitted by the Queen to explore this place. Perhaps we'll meet again, and if I have any questions, I can go ahead and ask you. That is good. I am always here, and if I can be of any help to you, William, I will do my best. And I think, in the end, though, Daenerys will be the one that helps you the most. Sure, it's not that I don't believe you, I'm sure she will. Well, I can tell that she seems to have a liking for you. Well, that's good. I wouldn't want to have a queen mad at me. You need not worry about that, William. Alright, well, I will talk to you later. And so with that, William continues walking up the hall. The historian and the visionary look at each other with a smile. And the historian said, Devin asks, is he going to be able to accept all this? Not at first, but eventually he will accept the reality he's about to face, because he's not going to be able to go back. He'll have no choice. So then they continue walking down the hall of the opposite direction. So William then continues walking the various areas and corridors of the palace. He comes into one area, kind of like a chamber, almost looks like a bedroom, but then some guards then step in front of him, like Daenerys said, and blocks the way, and he bows before them, holds both his hands up, and they look at each other, and he complies and turns around and leaves. Must be another chamber. So he then continues walking, finds a grand meeting room, and to one side it has like a sub-level area with a table and goes out to a balcony area, but nobody's in here. And then he looks around and then comes to another area that's somewhat separate, and though he doesn't disturb her, he sees Daenerys walking off somewhere. And this place, with very high vaulted ceilings, has furniture in it, and tables and chairs. It looks like a lounge area, but it's hard to explain. The windows are even very big, and the sunlight comes through as it's now becoming sunrise. He continues walking on and passes the throne room, and again he sees the short person he spotted before. Daenerys now is on the throne with Missandei beside him, and Daenerys looks over at William with a smile. Tyrion's about to turn around to see who is at the entryway, but again William is gone before he can notice him. Daenerys then asks him, is there something wrong? No, it's odd. I keep feeling like there's somebody watching me. She kind of, with a smile, well, we have a guest. We do. Yes. He's not from here. What kingdom does he come from? None, actually. Really? How do you have a guest not from a kingdom? Well, he's actually not of this world. His eyes kind of raise a bit. No, I'm not losing my mind, Tyrion. Oh, well, I wasn't thinking of that at all. So they continue talking as William then comes to another room. And no tables are out, but this place is huge. I mean, this is like just big splendor. And he doesn't seem to know what this is for. He would imagine if it was a banquet hall, it could fit many tables and many people could sit in here. But again, nobody seems to be in here as well. So after he's looked around inside, and seeing how vast the floors are, part wood, and some with some type of special, he imagines, palace type carpeting or rug that they've made, then notices that he can't go no further, so he has to go back the way he came to get the rest of the exploration. Then he comes to the throne room, but this time he stops and notices that Missandei's talking to somebody dressed in black. To William, this is like kind of strange because he's never seen anyone in this type of armor before. Perhaps it's somebody from another kingdom. But what he doesn't realize is that Unsullied Warrior, Grey Worm, he doesn't interrupt them. He waits till they disappear and looking around to make sure it's safe to enter in here. He realized this must be a throne room because there is a bench way up top of the stairs. He feels the walls because the architecture here is very strange indeed. And he then gets into the view of the sunlight as it's rising and suddenly is shocked by what he's seeing. He rubs his eyes. He can't imagine what it is he's looking at, and decides to test to see if he actually is seeing what he's seeing, because it looks like there's two moons. Kind of walks over a bit so that the pillar blocks the window, and it seems like they move with him. Then he walks back towards what looks like a rectangular fountain on one side of the stairs that leads to the throne itself, and again the two moons appear. Suddenly, like a ton of bricks, he grabs onto the step railing that it comes up to his chest area as he's standing on the side, and it is as if reality suddenly hits him. It can't be. How? Why? I mean, how did I get here? It's questions that he can't seem to explain. He feels dizzy and his legs get weak and numb, and he sits down and feels warm tears running down his face as he stares at the floor, and it's as if he sees his life flash before his eyes very rapidly. About that time, Daenerys enters the throne room and finds this very odd that William is sitting on the outside of the stairs leading to her throne and looks concerned, and hears him kind of sounds like as if he is crying. Missandei coming up behind her then says, Daenerys, it would seem that William seems to be crying. Yes. I wonder if he has finally figured out that he's not on his world. Perhaps he has. Should we see if we can help him? No. He must get through this himself. I'm sure he will have questions for us as well, though we may not be able to answer them. So, it then will now change to where he, as the visionary had told her back some time ago, that William will think that he has to be bold, who should not show weakness, and come to learn an important lesson to which she will take some delight in punishment, but not to harm him about his being so bold. And thus ends the scene.